All right, my game sounds are really low or off. Hang on, guys, one sec.
Or bugged?
No, not bugged. It's just really low for some reason.
I don't know if that bug still exists.
It's StarCraft. Let's be honest. Tons of bugs probably still exist. I'm gonna turn this up a bit. Hopefully, it's not too loud for stream. You guys have to let us know if this is overpowering us or not. But I can barely hear anything in my ears. So we're gonna go with it for now, and we'll keep an eye on chat. It is the first game of the qualifiers here for the DreamHack Open. This is the DreamHack Austin European qualifiers. Only 2 spots available today. And spawning here in the upper right side of Invader, it's going to be the red Terran player uThermal, aka uThermal. Not sure what the name changed.
In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, it is Dead Pixels PuPu.
PuPu.
That's how I'll say it, like pew pew.
PuPu versus a laser. Come on, anyone?
Heh, 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 heh.
All right. Thank you, Papa Mitch, for that 23-month resub. But yeah, so Invader's got a problem right here with this base, and it seems to be exclusive to only this base here. Nobody can take it because this gas geyser is slightly too close. I find this a little bit funny though, because not only should Blizzard have checked/fixed this, Avex, the map maker, also had a similar problem on another map that we used of his for a while, Detox. So just gonna we found Avex's weakness. He can't place minerals or gases correctly.
Well, okay, that's the thing. I have a question though. Like, did this exist with the first input with Invader, and then second of all, did he fix it with like his version of the map, which Blizzard has not cared for? But
it blows me away for that too. That's just a small note here where you've got the actual map maker who noticed their problems are wrong with it, actually consulted with several pros, fixed it accordingly, and Blizzard ignored those changes and instead removed horizontal pathways on the map, which I will admit is certainly going to help things, but not fix one of there are many other problems with this map.
yeah, of course, of course. So, I mean, the fact that it came out first, let's talk about that as well. I mean, it's a map veto system, so it's not like they were forced like the Alema League. So it is. I guess TvZ. Actually, no, I can't even say I don't mind it. I feel like as a Terran, I've never minded as many maps as when I was a Protoss, especially, or even when I was a Zerg. Terran, I just kind of get over it. But I don't like Invader, as any race.
This is actually the first time in all of, because I don't play to win, but this is the first time in any season of StarCraft 2 since Wings of Liberty I've gotten vetoed maps. I had a big rage fit about this on stream, and this was one of the first maps I vetoed. There's problems with this map, to be said. But anyways, bitching and whining aside, uThermal, bit of an interesting character to me because we've regarded him in high regards as a very talented Terran player. Now, he's done a bit of a funny opening, I guess you could say. The bunker and the wall-off's coming down, so he'll be fine, but he's gone for 3 barracks, which isn't a problem, but he's definitely dedicating to this with a tech lab rather than putting down like a factory. So I'm wondering...
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of these odd pushes versus Protoss. I'm wondering if this is going to be, like, similar but versus Zerg.
Perhaps. It's not super uncommon. Like, this was something that came to be when Legacy of the Void first came out. Like, when people realized Hellions weren't as good as they were, and, Liberator builds weren't quite created yet, people were going for multiple racks openers against Zerg, which was only ever, like, a cheese build, in Heart of the Swarming Wings of Liberty. But this is something that you can play a macro game with. That you can go to a factory and a starport just like you would against Protoss. But he's going for like 4 more barracks here. So he's just gonna go mass bio. So I imagine like mostly Marine, but maybe 1 or 2 Marauders to soak up any Banelings that might exist.
I mean, the other part of this that I find astounding, like this first off could work, but secondly, this is something I would expect to see something on, say, Praeon Terraces, where you've got a gold base to work around, right? To do this on a normal map is strange, but you'll note that, like, PuPu did drone quite a bit. He took a 3rd. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest army supply, and what he does currently have are Lings, something that can be stutter-stepped around.
Yeah.
If there was +1, these would absolutely tear through roaches, but to be honest, just the sheer numbers might do just that.
So this looks very odd. Like, a Marine push is not odd, but it's less Marines than this is the regular Marine push, shall we say. So I think PuPu should be like obviously well panicked right now. He's losing a third to a push, and that's just not what you want. But also like should hopefully be realizing like scout the main, scout the natural, and really
Oh,
be prepared.
Broodling's
But
actually
he
proven
might
to be more problem than I think he anticipated.
he might just be going for a Baneling
Look at
Roach all
this.
in here instead. Yeah, I wonder what this is most effective again, because I was gonna go into like, Invader doesn't have a lot of space to scout. I feel like this could be easily scouted with just slow overlords. But that's not something that PuPu ever did.
So-
And I wonder if it's just because like a lot of people go for roaches here, and maybe roaches don't come out in time usually, which they didn't here. They're just coming out now.
uThermal did this with no stim, by the way. Stim now finished up.
Yeah.
Also, quick reminder, because a lot of people forget about this. Roaches move faster than Marines slightly, but Marines actually have one more range than Roaches. So if done like perfectly, you could hit and run a little bit, but not too important for the time being. This is an insane amount of bio to see though. Stim's finished up. He's going for +1. Again, still decisively. No factory, no starport. Like he really... This, like, if you guys have ever wondered, like, is the turn player all in? The answer is yes. Absolutely.
I mean, this is a lot of bio, but the sacrifice of medevacs, basically, like don't really care about tanks or Widowmines right now, but medevacs especially is quite a sacrifice, But it is a very powerful bio army, and you are hitting already a weakened Zerg. Like they lost that third base of the first push.
There's only 5 or 6 Banelings. Like don't even need Marauders. Apparently with Stim, he can focus fire a lot of these down. They don't have speed. He's going to pounce on top of this. One Baneling gets popped immediately. He's going to keep pushing forward. I mean, I feel like this feels a lot less like uThermal and a lot more like we're casting Rough or something. But he does focus fire down the Banelings. The micro of a Gosu God that is uThermal. And it takes the fight at face value. GG. GG. And I'm going to write this down in my playbook to try out sometime.
Jeez.
What the hell? That was a different game. But the thing with uThermal that I've always enjoyed is when he cheeses, he does set like new standards in cheesing. Like his Ghost Proxy became like the build of champions for like a month when it came to fighting TVP. Like this weird, was it 6 barracks build versus Zerg, no factory? Like I don't think that's setting that same standard, but it's cool to see.
It is cool to see. I mean, 6 racks on one base was also a really old cheese. But you didn't get add-ons, I'm pretty sure, and it was off of one base.
Like, I really want to point out, he was still going for +1 behind that, really. If that traded out barely, gives him a big edge following it up. I don't know, but we're going to Corsair Carnage Knockout next. We don't have a map intro for this one because I don't have a good reason. This is the Lilac Crest of this season, or what I thought was going to be, and then it didn't end up being, so...
I mean, I'm not complaining at all. Like, as much as we might groan about the new maps and everyone, like, admits that they're not very good and whatnot, I am very tired of Dusk Towers, especially when it comes to PvZ.
I'm only done in the regards that I cannot take CVZ anymore. Everything else,
That
cool
too.
beans.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, we're gonna get a game number 2 here in the best of 3. It's the first best of 3 for the DreamHack Open European qualifiers. Again, we have quite the fun bracket here to ride out, regardless of results here or even in the next series. Bunny got a walk over on his opponent, so the winner will play against him. Top left side, though, or middle left side, however you want to view it, for Corsair Carnage Knockout, it's going to be the Red Terran, uThermal.
In the middle right-ish, it is the Dead Pixels player, PuPu.
So you know how you give like cute little nicknames to cute little things? I feel like that uThermal is like the cute nickname version of uThermal here.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Like you add E to anything and suddenly it's cuter. I hate it.
This is the chibi version of uThermal.
Aww. He's no longer Maru Thermal, he's uThermal. Oh,
Maru Thermi.
I don't know. I guess I'm guessing someone just called him that and they went with it, right? But
well, what I'm wondering is, Blizzard recently came down on some of the we'll say rule breakers. I really don't want to bring too much attention to drama, right? Because it's been dealt with and we've all moved on. But there are some rules where like you have to have accounts that are easily identifiable as you, and maybe this wasn't. Because if you remember, he had a lot of really funny named accounts before. So they might still have like
You
an
know?
actual uThermal account or a Maru thermal account, or maybe he's just made that uThermal here. But this also could have been like an X barcode that he wanted to compete in WCS with, and he had to make it something identifiable. I don't know.
Sure. I mean, that's yeah. If I have to, have a quick name, I'm Zombie Gwub. So
Yeah, there you go.
I can totally see that happening. I mean, regardless, it's not just a fun name. He's a fun player, and that's why, besides being like a really good Terran and missing our Terran, he is a guy that will do like those 6 racks builds. So I know you brought up like, is this Ruff that we're casting? But like Marine Lord, I feel like maybe he watches Ruff, occasionally. He's like, that's a good build. I think I could do it better, and then does do it better. Like, actually makes it work against like top tier foreigners, and maybe once or twice during like against Koreans. And I really cannot wait for a global event. Like,
So
I'm surprised how people like easily conceded never seeing Koreans versus foreigners again. But
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but that was not great losing the Reaper to Slowlings. Got a little bit greedy going to Mineral Line, and that did shut down quite a bit of scouting here. Didn't quite get to the main. I guess it's worth noting, if you guys haven't seen this map more recently, it was only like 2 or so days ago they changed it, and the rock tower / main ramp was tweaked, but everything else on the map is pretty much still the same. So right now, uThermal's trying to knock down these front rocks, but it's actually the back rocks PuPu is going to be working at here to open up another way into the base.
clever. During the initial opening of this map, we saw a couple of people like very automatically go for the scouts on all their back bases, like pylons put back there, supply depots put back there. Obviously, it becomes a problem when metas are out and they just start picking off all your supply depots and whatnot. But for something like this is really important to send something back. And I do think that it's only because uThermal is going for a faster 3rd CC. If he was not, then I don't know if he really ever checks this. But thankfully he does. He doesn't want that 3rd CC, God forbid, canceled if the rocks were broken down that quickly, or just, having to have a surprise amount of lings that you're not anticipating. Because he lost the Reaper, and with that, he does have to really rely on these rocks to buy him time, to scout and then buy him time if PuPu was going for any type of all-in. But the tank job also would have helped. The only downside of this is if it was a 2-base lair, which it could have been. Again, he had no idea. And Midas would have been out and really would have shut it down quickly, but it's not. People went for 3rd base. He's getting a lair now. He's got a Roach Warren, so going to play Roach on this map. Not too surprising at all. And this tank, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but I think the scouting, as long as you have good micro and macro behind it, it's fine. Just don't lose it.
Well, the bottom right map has been taken over by PuPu, same way that uThermal has taken over the top left, just each expanding towards those thirds. The map, as large as it is, we've recently discovered through a free-for-all how difficult taking extra bases can be. And I think even though you break down these rocks and these rocks over here, expanding this far in either direction can certainly be scary for either player. One, as a Zerg, you're obviously worried about Terran players starting to drop you instead of deathballing, and as a Terran player, you're worried about the Zerg just being able to run around with lings or banelings and catch you off guard. So I think 3 bases like this is pretty... You're happy with it, but it is kind of scary thinking about what comes behind this.
Oh, thought I was gonna sneeze. Now I feel terrible. It still feels like it. Okay. So the transfer over into not only the Baneling Nest, but also the 1/1 is not too surprising. But yeah, the weakness is that the drops could be a problem. It's going to be a quick infestation pit. We'll see if he does bother to go for fungals or just is going to try and depend on well-placed units and rocks buying him enough time to get to ultras. Which I guess, I look at this map, I'm like, what's the best hive-tech unit, Broodlords or ultras? And I guess I can't really find anything too abusive for either one.
I think it's still just going to be, in general, ultras. Just the amount of pressure it forces on a Terran. Like, a Broodlord is good damage. No one will ever contest that, but it doesn't create that same imperativeness.
I agree. I only really like Broodlords if it's a very good map for it. Like, a lot of ramps and, like, spaces that the Broodlords can hover over and not be attacked in. And there's some positions on Core Hall, obviously, but if it is those middle of the map engagements, then that's where Broodlords don't do it as well. But the double drop is not well defended against. There's nothing here to catch them while they're unloading. And fully unloaded, this is where you need banelings, or just simply a lot of units.
Yeah, I mean, Stim's already done. +1 finishes here very, very soon. But looks like that fight will commence beforehand. Ravager's going to come back, and this might just drive this back. But, I mean, he goes quite a few lings, 6 drones. In fact, how much died in total? 23 lings died for that defense. Not great.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of static defense coming behind this, though. Constantly talk about how Zerg needs to do this more. Oftentimes you're not given the opportunity, but I feel like more than ever in Legacy of the Void, when you can get away with so much droning and you've got just so much income, like there's just no excuse not to let this happen. But yeah, just good to see the static defense coming in place. We got a Hive on the way. I mean, it's worth noting too, a Spine and a Spore, like these are never going to stop a drop, but the idea is that it gives you the time to pull your drones back, it gives your lings time to run back. You know, you don't just lose everything like we just saw for free. But Hive Tech's certainly going to be interesting because, you know, you question what's going to be better. I mean, I think everybody likes Ultras because they force out the strangest situations. And they kind of make these drops non-existent.
Well, the Infestors are on the way out. They do not have Patching Glands, so they're going to have to wait a little while. But as long as PuPu has these units defending against drops, which actually these are dying, then he'll be able to get to Ultras before uThermal can really do much about it, because uThermal still has to break down his own rocks, and then, well, I guess PuPu never tore down his rocks, but potentially.
So, uThermal, I'd kind of forgotten because it's been a while since we cast him. Even though we've seen him use ghosts and things in the past, he was kind of more akin to, I'd say, Ryung's playstyle, where he'd rather force out a lot of Marauders and do focus fire than necessarily go for higher tier units to deal with Ultras. So this will be kind of interesting because his production actually does look great. I mean, 4 Marauders at a time. Ooh, Uncle Ghostland. That's going to suck. But 4 Marauders at a time, lots of Marines. His upgrades are holding up. I mean, I am curious to see if this will work, because I feel like uThermal, if there's one thing we always count on with this guy, it's his control. More than anything else, this guy has like got some of the best control out of foreigners.
That's certainly true. It's still, like, it is the case, though, that you just rather kill them before Ultras are out, and that time is slowly, or actually quickly slipping away as the Ultras government is done, just waiting on chitinous plating.
Oh, is this really happening? Sorry. On the brackets, in this same quadrant of the brackets, Hearthstone is currently playing against Sioris. It's a little bit funny. It's the guy who was looking at his replays during that one tournament in China and got disqualified for it.
Yeah. You heard the follow-up, right?
They claimed it was something like unrelated.
No, Hearthstone like confirmed that. No, not unrelated. Like it was a joke between friends, basically, and Hearthstone confirmed it. Like he knows the guy. So there's no ill will, but it is kind of funny, just coincidental.
Okay, well, gonna stim forward this Corrosive Bios, but that's 126 supply. Now, there are some Ultralisks out, but Chitinous Plating's not done, so even the Marines can deal damage to these, and as we see, the first one gets melted, the second one gets melted. Look at the splits on the side. It's like watching an AI split. There's not that much to deal with now, and uThermal's just gonna push to win. Some Banlings finish up, but he just has to split a little bit. Not a problem. Not a single problem in the world for this Terran.
GG.
Indeed. Alright, so that being said, uThermal will take the first series today, 2-0. Move on to fight against Bunny next. Winner of that will play Protoss guaranteed in either Hearthstone or Sioris. So, again, I think following this bracket will probably be pretty good. So,
I agree.
They're just awarding some walkovers now, so you guys will see the bracket advance yourselves. Make sure to type !brackets in chat to see them. Also, don't forget it is double elimination. There's quite a few games to be had. We are going to go to our first ad break of the day, though, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.